Call this meeting to order of the Hawarden City Council. This is our regular City Council meeting on Wednesday, August 14th, 2024 at 5:30 p.m. We do have a quorum tonight. We'll start out with our standard agenda items. 1A is the approval of the July 24th, 2024 regular council meeting minutes.
I'll move to approve the minutes.
And a second?
Second.
All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. 1B, approval of the August 14, 2024 claims for payment. Discussion or a motion?
I make a motion to approve the claims for payment.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving the August 14, 2024 claims for payment, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. At this time, we have open business from the community. Is there anyone out there that would like to speak tonight? Yes, sir.
John Grease from Hawarden. I don't have any notes, so I'm going to ramble for 5 minutes or so. First, I'm going to talk about the vicious dog ordinance. That's my favorite. As you know, we don't have any dangerous or any dogs or cats listed under the dangerous animals because that was taken off when the council was misled, lied to, or just by accident given reasons to justify it that weren't true. So the whole dangerous animals portion of the ordinance wasn't rewritten. It was just the pit bulls were taken off that list. That list now consists of skunks, raccoons, Africanized bees, red ants and black ants, typical from Central America. So when I submitted my idea for changes, I never touched any of that because none of it made any sense to me. And some issues, you identified domestic animals as being this and that, and one is non-dangerous aquarium fish, but you don't, that's never identified what a dangerous aquarium fish is in the ordinance. I'm assuming all of you guys have read the ordinance. I would hope by now. So that's what's included as a domestic animal, and then later you give how many domestic animals you can have. So it's 4 over the age of 6 months. So if I have 5 guppies that are over the age of 6 months, I'm in violation of that ordinance. Now you can say, well, we'll never enforce that. Well, why don't you just not have that stuff in there? Right? I don't know what a non-dangerous or a dangerous aquarium fish is. It lives in a tank. So with that, we don't want to have a breed ban. I want to make that specific because what was on there before as a breed ban, what Hawarden had was pit bulls. It's a very weak definition. It's all determined on what you think a pit bull is. It doesn't specify the breed or whether it's a Yorkshire Terrier or whatever else. And that wasn't ever enforced anyway. What we want is an enforceable ordinance. It should go with the people that are against breed bans. They should understand that because they want the owners and the breeders held responsible. Okay? It's not the dog's fault. It's how they were bred, bad breeding. It's how the owners, chained them up, maybe abused them. And right now, the police, as far as I can see from the ordinance, they're not authorized to kick out a dog from town. It has to go through the council. If you guys don't want to do that anymore, if you want to give the police that authority arbitrarily to kick a dog out of town, if it's determined by the officers that it's a vicious animal, then fine. But right now, the ordinance says you'll have a hearing on it. You guys will determine that. Right now, also under the ordinance for dangerous animals, you're supposed to have a hearing if the police officer determines that there may be a dangerous animal. Someone's keeping a skunk under their house. You guys get to determine if that's a skunk or it's not a skunk. Now, you may remember the cartoon Pepe Le Pew, the French skunk that fell in love with a black and white cat. He couldn't understand the words no, okay? So, a skunk is a skunk, easily identifiable, except for maybe Pepe Le Pew. Now, Councilman Harvey at the last meeting, I'm not going to quote everything he said, but he started out with the council comments, and he numbered them. I think there was 3 items, and then he said some other things. He said, 1, we work better when we work together. 2, we should have a centralized place to put out information. And he thought the way things were done for the flood response added more work to the city staff. And the other, I don't know who he was talking about in the other comments that he made. He felt somebody was grandizing. And like I said, I'm not going to quote exactly what he said. I'm not here to defend him. But I am here to say the response to his comments that were posted on a public Facebook page were beneath the office of the mayor. Okay? Why would you go out there and say that I didn't see him picking up sandbags? I didn't see him feeding people at the deal. I didn't have time myself to see what other people were doing. Okay? I wasn't doing sandbags. I wasn't doing any of that other stuff either. So put me on Facebook, get your posse together, blast the crap out of me. I welcome it. I had the luck, the pleasure, probably about a month ago, because I was in Lamar's, and I stopped by the city offices there. And I was able to talk to the city administrator. Because what they do in their meetings, for one, they do the Pledge of Allegiance, among other things. Then they had open business from the community, and they interact with their constituents, the citizenry, anybody that has any questions. They just state each time that we cannot act on anything, which is understandable because it's not on the agenda. What you guys do, and I've said it before, is you create an apathetic citizenry, okay? They come up here. I don't know where you stand anymore from when you campaigned. I have no idea. None. And I think I should have that right. And I would really like you guys, on one hand, you want to see Hawarden grow, and you want to hang on to its heritage, but you still have this rule in place that's ridiculous, in my opinion, that none of you can interact with me. And you don't even obey that all the time. Depends on who it is, depends upon what you feel, I don't know. So I'd welcome that you'd get rid of that. It's over 30 years old, and you feel you don't have to, but you have the opportunity to answer my questions, or if I have a statement about something I'm concerned about in the city, you can say, yep, we're going to look at that, but we can't act on it tonight. More often than not, you appear to not act on anything that's brought up before you from the citizenry. The dog attack happened in September 30th, and I think Cy was up here talking about he wanted to reinstate the pit bull ban. That was in October. We're coming up on a year. The last administration said they were going to keep having discussions about it. Nothing. I asked for it to be on the agenda twice. I was told it would be taken under consideration. I guess that doesn't mean that it's going to be on the agenda. And yet you have it on here that, you know, if you want something on the agenda, you talk to the city administrator, and then maybe it gets put on the agenda. Finally, city councilwoman asked for it to be put on the agenda. It was put on the agenda. I didn't hear anybody, well, there's two people, two council persons that actually had any discussion about it. The ordinance is junk, okay? It's junk. Needs to be rewritten. If I have to come up here and test whether the new police chief is going to arrest me, I'll come up here with 5 8-month-old goldfish. Get rid of it. Now you say, well, we're not going to enforce it. Well, then don't have it in there. And if you're afraid of people, you know, you don't want to be able to interact with people because you might, you know, it might go past lunchtime, the meeting. Take a look at some of the meetings from Lamar's. They don't have any more people come up. And it goes like that. Like I said before, when I spoke at the last meetings, my last words were, just because you can do something doesn't mean you should. Which, if I hurt any of your feelings up here, that's on you. I don't control your emotions. I control my emotions.
Anyone else? Okay, we will move on to the mayor's report. Just a few reminders. Tomorrow, the chamber is sponsoring a back-to-school bash. There's going to be a dozen or so chamber businesses that will be offering special savings. We encourage everyone to shop local and support your community businesses. The citywide garage sales will be Labor Day weekend, August 30th through September 1st. Now's the time to start planning for that. We are accepting applications for the 2024 Little Miss Big Sioux River Days. Also look for applications for the Little Miss Big Sioux event. Applications can be gotten from Julie Coyle at the chamber, and she's at the library. We're also looking for more vendors for the vendor fair in the city park during Big Sioux River Days, and also parade entries on Labor Day. Again, contact Julie at the chamber if you're interested. Today I received a check from Vernite Motors of Sioux Falls. Randy Finch, who is a longtime resident in Hawarden, organized a charity golf tournament, which raised $408, split between Hawarden and Rock Valley for flood relief. So we got $2,004 from Vernite, and we appreciate all that they have done to organize it and all those that participated and donated for that. And that's all I have. We'll go on to staff reports. Gary.
Just have two quick items. I'll talk a little more in the discussion of flood-related items when we get to that, but I just wanted to welcome Brian. Brian DePriest is our new police chief, and we're excited that he's here, and he's doing a great job. He's already really been active in the pursuit of trying to recruit some new officers, and he'll maybe speak more about that. But we want to welcome you, and we're glad you're here. Also, I want to make a note to thank Brenna Ranking for stepping up. We were able to hire her when the flood hit, and she came into our office and has just done a phenomenal job in tracking and meeting and dealing with all of our residents that have had flood damage, and I just can't say enough about the job that she's done for us. And her last day is going to be next Friday, the 23rd. She's going back to school, and we're going to be very sad to lose her. But again, I just want to make sure that she realizes how thankful we are that she was here to help out. Thank you.
Okay. Tracy.
All is going well. Nothing else.
Okay. Travis.
I'll keep part of my flood-related stuff for item 13. I did speak with and met with Northwest Iowa Community College to discuss their heavy equipment class coming and assisting with Avenue D cleanup. We still have the berm and sandbags there. I think it's going to be a good fit. The only requirement they would have is for fuel and then the material to fix the road. They'd grade the road when they're done. So the work would tentatively begin after Labor Day.
That would be good.
Okay. Brian, I would like to echo Gary's welcome to you. We are very pleased to have you here.
Thank you, and I appreciate the warm welcome I've received. As Gary said, we are hiring. We have some materials that we're still going to be putting out, so keep an eye if you're interested on the City of Hawarden's website for more information, as that should be there shortly.
Okay. Thank you. Carol.
I'm just really continuing to work with the local residents on their grant opportunities. Those opportunities are coming to an end very soon. Some of them have already passed, but we still do have quite a few people coming in the door, which is awesome. I'm working on some of the state level now, visiting with the Iowa Economic Development Authority on some new opportunities, moving a little bit more into the heavier lift items. I did speak today with the emergency management guy, and he was very positive, gave us some very good feedback about our grants that have been submitted. So hopefully we hear those awards soon. Other than that, just continuing.
Okay. Thank you, Carol. Jenny.
Nothing. Thank you.
All right. Moving on to C, council comments. Any one of the council members wish to comment tonight?
I just want to say I had an opportunity to go through the vicious dog ordinance. So I do have some of those updates to present, probably tomorrow or Friday. So I'll just submit them to Gary, if that's okay. And then maybe, Gary, you can get them to Jenny. And then, Jenny, you can review and let me know how we need to go according to that. Okay, thank you.
And likewise, Christy and I have been going through the dog ordinance. Is there anything changed since we spoke?
Just a few things.
Okay.
Yep. So.
But I also want to welcome you, Brian, to the City of Hayward. Also, during council comments, I try to comment if there is an issue, John. And because we do have where, people can come present and we don't have a conversation with them, I'm not opposed to having one within the 5 minutes and answering somebody back. So I try to do it in council comments, but personally, I don't sit here and not want to hear from you or anybody else. If I know there's things going on, I try to get involved with it. I don't want to stay silent, and I want to look into things too. And since I came on here, there was a zillion things to look into and deal with. And I did have that on my list that was very long, the dog ordinance. I care about this community. I try to get involved with people, and I will listen to things. I'll have an opinion too, and sometimes we agree, and sometimes it's something different. But I want to hear from people. And maybe I don't respond as fast, but I don't forget it. I just want you to know that.
Anyone else?
Patty, you want to talk about the,
It's at the end.
oh, it's at the end? I want to say, John, I understand the spirit of, I agree with you that the community come up, talk to us. We need to be able to engage with that. But I think I understand the spirit of, it's the community's opportunity to talk to us, not the other way around. So I understand the whole, it keeps an adversarial tension away. If you talk to us and we don't engage with it, we just basically sit and listen. But I agree with you, it probably needs to be changed. So it's probably antiquated to a time when things were a little bit more adversarial. So I understand that. So maybe it's something we do need to look at.
Well, I've been in city government 30 years. Some cities do that, some don't. Some keep it the way we're doing it. They want to make sure they're not talking about things, get into conversations that aren't on the agenda. I'd like to think they follow up later or something, but I've just seen where some will answer, keep it in the 5 minute, others will just want you to be able to voice whatever you want to the city council, maybe not get in an argument. Some people want to just voice, a lot of them do. They follow up later a lot of times, or we should. So I've seen it both ways.
Thank you. We'll move on to other agenda items. Number 3, we've got oath of office and an appointment for the police chief. So I am pleased to appoint Brian DePriest as our new police chief, and at this time, we will have him give our oath of office.
I, Brian DePriest, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States of America and the Constitution of the State of Iowa, and that I will faithfully and impartially, to the best of my ability, discharge all of the duties of police chief according to law and the ordinance of the City of Hawarden, as now or hereafter required by law.
Nice to meet you again.
Okay, number 4, our pay request number 3 to IES Commercial Incorporated for the 7th Street Substation construction.
This pay request is for work completed in July. They've put in almost just over 5,000 feet of conduit and duct bank. The amount is $138,369.43.
Any questions or comments?
I make a motion to approve the pay request number 3 to IES Commercial Incorporated.
Second.
Any further discussion? We'll have a roll call vote. Warner,
Aye.
Anderson,
Aye.
Clucky,
Aye.
Allen.
Aye.
Passes 4-0. Thank you. Items 4 through 12 are special events applications for Labor Day. We can put this all in one motion, or if you have any of those items that you would like to pull and vote separately on, we can do that also. Any items you want to pull?
No.
Okay. I would take a motion to approve items 5 through 12. These are special events. There's a color run, Big Sioux Outdoor Music Night, Big Sioux River Days Vendor Fair, the Big Sioux River Days Bingo, Magic Art Bus, Community Softball Game, a fireworks display, and the Labor Day Parade. I would take a motion to approve those special events applications.
So move.
I'll second.
Any further discussion? All those in favor of approving those applications, please say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Thank you. Number 13, discussion of flood-related items.
I'm going to let Travis talk about the cleanup and the public assistance portion of the city that we're dealing with. The public assistance is, of course, all the city property and it was damaged during the flood, and doesn't, we're not talking about individual houses, but all this, just city public property that was damaged. So maybe you can talk about the cleanup as well and where we're at with that.
This week, we completed the last round of drive-around cleanup. We're asking everybody utilize the dumpster at 808 7th Street. If you have extenuating circumstances, please let us know, and we can make arrangements, possibly with city equipment, to pick that up. I've been working with public assistance funding through FEMA. We have a recovery scoping meeting scheduled this Monday to begin the process. There's 7 categories of work. The first one is debris management, and we're estimating $400,000 in that category. The second is emergency protective measures. We've estimated $138,000 in that category. Roads and bridges, only $5,000. Water control facilities, which would be our levy, $150,000 there. Buildings and equipment, $319,000. The next one is utilities, $218,000. Parks, recreation, and other is $200,000. These will get fine-tuned when we sit down with FEMA and talk through each of these categories individually.
Travis, I was at the dive team meeting. Did those guys get a chance to sign your volunteer sheet for Hawarden?
I'm not
sure that they
sure that they did.
I doubt if the DNR guys with their rescue boats did as well. I know they were talking about that because they did for Rock Valley, so you might reach out to Nate and see if you can get that signature page over there.
Yeah, thanks.
Wasn't there a Sioux City team too?
Yeah, there was
That truck?
Yeah, boat and rescue.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some of those costs.
Okay,
Quite
anything
a
else?
number. Thanks for putting that together.
And we are expecting FEMA to cover some of that.
FEMA's 75%, the state is 10% and 15% city.
Patty, did you have something?
Regarding that, Derek and I have been working with the Hawarden Flood Disaster 2024 funds, and we put together a donation committee, which met last Thursday. And we were gracious enough to get a form from Rock Valley. I thank them, and so we could take it and tweak it and turn it into the questions we had that we felt we needed to ask. And you've got those. With that, it's ready to go. And you can see on the back, kind of see on the back, or is it on the front? It's open as of August 15th through September 15th, 2024. And this is just for people right now, people that lived in the homes. And we'll be discussing
On the 16th.
potential others, but on the 16th, we were going to review these. We're hoping to, if we get quite a lot in, we'll regroup.
Yeah, we're going to plan on, depending on how many we get, we'll meet again.
Yeah.
Go through them. But on the 16th is, so the
Sure.
15th is the drop dead date. You have
Yes.
to have your application in by then, because we're meeting on the 16th to finalize it. So,
That portion, at least. It's just residents right now.
nope, just one per household.
One per household. The person living in it, the renter.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Renter.
yeah. I'm trying to think of anything. We're kind of thinking that as we receive these, we probably will find out more hardship cases. The questions that are asked,
The questions were really, they were too,
specific for a reason, yeah.
it's not just, do you deserve to get the money? It's a matter of, yeah, you're going to need more help than you've been getting, and we'll be able to
Yes.
see that on this application, so.
So we're hoping, people have already asked, so I have a feeling word of mouth will go around, and they'll be bringing them in.
Okay, thank you for your work on that.
I just wanted to, I thought we'd talk a little bit about the FEMA trailers. We're still working with FEMA on bringing in some, I guess I would call them longer-term temporary trailers. They can live in them for 18 months. They're a much larger trailer than the smaller camper style. They're a regular 14 by 70, roughly, trailer. And we're looking at the Bill Boyer property down on 24th and D that Trent Russ was in talking with you about earlier as a temporary location, obviously. There's also a couple other locations that they're considering, but that's the one that they're focusing on right now. There's a lot of due diligence that goes into that on FEMA's part. Right now, they were there today again with another person looking at it and doing the archaeological historical evaluation to see what it was used for in the past and to make sure that we don't stomp on any buried treasures or something, that were there. The Indian relics or anything like that are pretty important to them, and so they want to make sure that there's not any archaeological issues. And it'll continue to move forward, hopefully. And right now, I think they have 5 that have committed people to go into them, and I think they're planning for the potential of another 5 or so. So that's kind of where it's at right now. As it stands right now, FEMA would come in and put in the infrastructure, and once that was done, and they were utilized for 18 months, the people that are in them have the opportunity to buy them back at a reduced price. And the plan right now is to put the infrastructure in such a way that it can be utilized as a housing development once the trailers are moved out of there after the temporary 18-month period. So there's some planning that goes into that as well. So it's moving forward, but it's, I'm sure, much slower than the people that want to get in the trailers would like, but it just takes time. So I think that's all I have on the flood stuff, unless you guys have any questions about anything. So.
The hope is that those trailers will be ready before winter hits.
Yeah, that's the plan, and they are handicap accessible, so if we have anybody that has any disabilities or any issues, they are all handicap accessible. So they would be a nice opportunity for at least temporary housing until they can get something more permanent. So.
We currently have 8 campers out at Oak Grove for people that are displaced. And I believe those campers can stay until October. So we're hoping to be able to make the transition there.
So are the 8 available to someone?
No, 8
No, they're
are
utilized.
Utilized,
filled.
right?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's more sitting in Sioux Center, I believe.
Yeah. As I understand it, they go through the FEMA application and decide who is eligible, and then they contact them, and if they want to have a camper for 3 months, then they can have it. So there's a possibility there could be more applications, but
I'm just thinking of a couple people that, really haven't gotten an okay from FEMA, so they're just kind of that catch-22, where you haven't received a confirmation from FEMA, you still want a little more information, but need to get out of their house or where they're staying. Okay.
I would, Patty, sorry to interrupt. I would encourage anyone, because FEMA, the state will monitor all of that to apply.
Okay.
If there's,
Yes, they will, that's right, they said that.
yeah, so, I mean, the city obviously is completely out of it, but even if they are certain, if they apply,
Okay.
there's not like they have to stay for this long. So I would definitely encourage anyone who, maybe they're being in their parents' basement, or need some space to apply, because it's my understanding they are more available.
Okay, that's right, you're right, because I remember at the beginning, when the state came, they said, we'll help with anything, and there are some that's a good point, I gotta remember that.
currently, I believe the application period ends August 26th. So it may be extended, but that's what it is right now. And of course, they have to complete the FEMA application and then the application for campers. Okay, anything else? If not, then our next regular meeting is on August 28th, and we are adjourned at 6:06
We
PM.
need a motion to adjourn.
I'm
I'll
sorry.
make a motion.
Adjourn.
I'm sorry.
I'll second.
Okay, all those in favor of adjourning?
Aye.
Opposed? Passes 4-0. Thank you. We are adjourned now.
Yep.
For us,